Can you imagine that the key to cultivating enormous, award-winning vegetables involves no chemicals whatsoever? Over many generations, Amish farmers have refined natural cultivation methods that reliably deliver remarkable outcomes. These overlooked practices are virtually free, yet result in harvests double the usual yield. The Amish way of gardening stems from a profoundly different philosophy. They do not merely utilize soil, they construct it. This fundamental distinction influences every aspect of their cultivation techniques, establishing foundations that foster remarkable vegetable development without chemical interventions. Traditional Amish gardeners perceive soil as a living cathedral, complete with distinct, purposeful layers. The base layer, abundant with larger organic materials, ensures extended decomposition and proper drainage. The central layer holds partly decomposed matter that nourishes the soil's ecosystem throughout the growing period. The uppermost layer consists of finely filtered compost that provides young seedlings with immediate nourishment. What truly distinguishes Amish gardens is their exceptional earthworm population. Whereas typical gardens may host 5 to 10 earthworms per cubic foot, Amish garden beds regularly sustain 35+ earthworms, natural cultivators that aerate the soil, process nutrients, and forge biological roots for root development. Their gardens are so teeming with worms, it's said that earthworms seek citizenship there. Such a living structure isn't created in a day. Amish gardeners display considerable patience, frequently dedicating 3 to 5 years to cultivating genuinely fertile soil before anticipating outstanding yields. This patience is a testament to profound Amish principles of stewardship and their bond with the land. The outcomes are self-evident. Vegetables cultivated in correctly structured living soil establish more widespread root networks, absorb nutrients with greater efficiency, and show impressive resistance to diseases and dry spells. However, this living soil needs consistent feeding. To this end, the Amish have formulated a unique liquid fertilizer that animates these soil cathedrals with impressive effectiveness. Have you ever pondered how Amish vegetables achieve such astonishing dimensions? Their clandestine tool is brewing discreetly behind barns across Pennsylvania and Ohio. The sole item we will ever endorse on our channel is a publication by Claude Davis, an experienced prepper, detailing 126 superfoods and preservation techniques from periods of crisis such as the Great Depression and wartime, information that is unobtainable anywhere else. We opted to promote his book as we represent the final generation capable of passing these methods and superfoods on to our offspring or their children. It would be a great loss for this knowledge concerning highly nourishing foods and preservation strategies for surviving crises to vanish. Additionally, you can discover a book on herbal remedies by Nicole Pellion in their store. If you are viewing this on television, you can search for our channel, Frugal Solutions, on your mobile device or tablet and locate the books by selecting the link provided in our channel's description or in the description of any other video. Compost Tea. Distinct from commercially available fertilizers, this valuable liquid is the product of an exact 14-day fermentation method that converts kitchen waste into nourishment for plants. The procedure commences with rainwater. Never tap water treated with chlorine, as it eliminates beneficial microbes gathered in wooden casks. Into this water, Amish cultivators introduce their confidential components. In addition to the anticipated compost, they include surprising elements: pulverized eggshells for calcium, fish bones for phosphorus, and even minor quantities of blackstrap molasses to feed microbes. An older gardener attests that introducing a bit of raw milk on the 7th day awakens the dormant beneficial agents within the concoction. The brewing method necessitates daily agitation using wooden implements, never metal ones, which might interfere with microbial functions. As the fermentation advances, the concoction starts to effervesce, emitting a characteristic earthy aroma. Their compost tea becomes so effervescent that local residents remark these Amish gardens are unique spots where vegetables consume champagne and enhance their fruitfulness. Once correctly brewed, a single tablespoon of the final tea holds more than 4 billion advantageous microorganisms. Yet, how do they determine its readiness? The effervescence test offers the solution. If a spoonful of the fluid generates a minimum of 10 bubbles upon being returned to the cask, it has achieved its maximum strength. At this point, the tea needs to be applied within 24 hours before the microbial community exhausts its nourishment. Applications adhere to a rigorous timetable. Young plants are given a mild 10-to-1 dilution. Conversely, mature plants receive the undiluted brew every 2 weeks throughout the growing period. The results: vegetables with significantly enhanced nutrient content. Analyses reveal that tomatoes cultivated by the Amish possess as much as 34% more lycopene compared to those grown using conventional methods. However, the true enchantment occurs when this liquid nourishment combines with another potent component, an item many contemporary gardeners carelessly discard, but which Amish farmers value as if it were garden gold. From the fireplace to the garden patch. This phrase encapsulates the Amish philosophy regarding wood ash. Whereas contemporary gardeners may discard ashes or simply let them accumulate in hearths, Amish agriculturalists prize this residual material as a rich source of minerals. Wood ash is laden with 18 trace minerals vital for plant development. Key among these are potassium, calcium, and magnesium, elements that accelerate swift vegetable growth. Yet, not every type of ash offers the same benefits in the garden. Hardwoods such as oak and maple produce ash with the highest mineral concentration. Their choice of firewood is more meticulous than the selection process most individuals use for their home furnishings. Application rates adhere to stringent protocols. For the majority of vegetables, Amish cultivators spread a delicate layer, approximately 1 cup for every 10 square ft, incorporating it lightly into the uppermost inch of soil. Vegetables intended to achieve exceptionally large sizes are given specific targeted treatments. Tomatoes are treated with ash when planted, whereas root vegetables receive applications once their foliage attains a height of 6 in tall. The timing is also crucial. Ash is applied a minimum of 2 weeks prior to planting, permitting its alkaline nature to moderate. This cautious method avoids the frequent error of excessive application, which can elevate soil pH excessively and render essential nutrients unavailable. The outcomes are evident in remarkable figures. Garden areas that benefit from tactical ash treatments exhibit yield enhancements ranging from 27 to 32% when contrasted with plots that receive no such treatment. More significantly, the mineral content within the vegetables rises substantially, resulting in produce that boasts superior taste and longer shelf life. This judicious utilization of ash perfectly illustrates the Amish principle of transforming refuse into riches, maximizing the utility of every resource the farm provides. But determining the optimal placement for these enriched soils presents the subsequent vital query. The Amish address this with their remarkable strategy for garden spacing. Crop rotation is not exclusive to Amish agriculture, but their systematic method elevates this age-old technique into a precise artistic system known as the space cycle. In numerous communities, this framework categorizes plants into 7 separate families that ensure no family is planted in the same ground consecutively. Root crops are never cultivated where leafy greens were grown the previous season. Fruit-bearing plants such as tomatoes never succeed legumes like beans. Every type of plant contributes certain nutrients while drawing out others, thereby establishing a natural, biological cadence. The true brilliance is found in the meticulous record-keeping. Small garden plots get divided into sections on paper maps that travel through generations. Garden areas rest completely every 7th year, allowing complete soil recovery, even in tiny spaces. Data collected over decades shows the impact. Gardens following strict Amish rotation patterns yield 41% more by weight than gardens with random planting. Even more impressive, the 3rd rotation cycle produces bigger gains than the 2nd, proving cumulative benefits. Their garden maps have more detailed planning than most retirement portfolios. For limited spaces, the Amish employ vertical thinking. Tall corn grows alongside sprawling squash and climbing beans. The famous Three Sisters planting, where each plant occupies different vertical layers while benefiting its companions. Strategic rest periods between plant families prove especially important. Nightshades, tomatoes, peppers need 3 years before returning to the same soil to break disease cycles naturally without chemicals. This measured approach to space creates a garden that grows stronger with time. But even the best planned rotation needs soil that can hold on to nutrients, which leads to a fascinating ancient technique involving fire and carbon. Black gold. That's what Amish farmers call biochar. This remarkable substance starts as ordinary garden waste, but transforms through a special burning process into something that can improve soil for centuries. The history runs deep. Archaeological digs show ancient farmers used similar techniques thousands of years ago. The Amish method involves a cone-shaped pit where garden trimmings burn slowly with limited oxygen. This smoldering process, rather than open flames, creates carbon-rich material instead of ash. Raw biochar isn't immediately useful. It requires charging first. Amish gardeners soak fresh biochar in compost tea for at least 2 weeks before garden use. This process fills the countless microscopic pores with beneficial microbes and nutrients. Test results prove its worth. Sandy soils treated with Amish biochar show 63% better water retention, meaning less watering during dry spells. Clay soils become lighter and drain better. Most impressively, laboratory tests reveal that biochar-enriched soil retains nitrogen fertilizers that would normally wash away. Their biochar has been improving soil since before most modern gardeners' grandparents were born. Application follows careful rules. New gardens receive generous amounts mixed throughout the soil. Established beds get thinner applications on the surface where earthworms incorporate it naturally. For prized vegetables destined for giant size, biochar gets added directly to planting holes. This ancient technology creates powerful growing foundations. But even perfect soil needs something else. Helpers who bring gardens to life in surprising ways. Walk into an Amish garden, and you might notice something unusual. Animals are part of the growing system, not just kept in separate areas of the farm. This strategic partnership between plants and animals creates extraordinary growing conditions without chemicals. Rabbit hutches hang strategically above compost piles. Their droppings, among the richest natural fertilizers available, contain twice the nitrogen of chicken manure and 4 times that of cow manure. This creates concentrated fertility zones, where the most demanding vegetables can be planted. Chickens work as the garden's cleanup crew, released into garden areas after harvest. They scratch through remaining plant material, eat insect eggs, and leave behind valuable manure. This natural pest control breaks disease cycles without chemicals. Studies show gardens with chicken rotation have 71% fewer pest problems the following season. Ducks and geese serve as specialized insect hunters. Unlike chickens, they don't scratch up plants, making them perfect for pest patrol during the growing season. Geese even show preferences for specific weeds while leaving vegetables untouched. Timing matters tremendously. Animals rotate through different garden sections following a schedule that prevents both overgrazing and over-fertilization. A garden section might see chickens for 3 days, then rest completely for weeks before new plants are introduced. The system works so well that many Amish gardeners claim their animals are the only employees who work for chicken feed and never complain about the hours they put at working. These animal partnerships create healthy gardens. But there's another secret to those prize-winning giant vegetables. A simple technique that reduces disease by 40% and dramatically strengthens plant stems, all by controlling an invisible element in the garden. The invisible element most gardeners ignore, air movement. Amish farmers have turned this overlooked factor into a science that produces stronger plants and bigger harvests. Proper airflow prevents fungal diseases that thrive in stagnant, humid conditions. Studies of Amish gardens reveal they experience 37% fewer fungal problems than conventional gardens with similar plantings. The secret lies in their precise spacing and arrangement of plants. Rather than planting in simple rows, Amish vegetable plots follow carefully plotted patterns that create natural air channels. Tall plants never block wind from reaching shorter ones. Each plant gets positioned according to its need for air circulation. Leafy greens get more space in humid weather, less in dry conditions. Plant heights follow mathematical sequences. A tall corn plant might stand next to medium-height peppers than low-growing squash. This stair-step effect creates natural air turbulence that strengthens stems through gentle resistance, similar to how wind makes trees grow stronger wood. Measurements tell the story. Plants grown in Amish airflow systems develop stems up to 22% thicker than identical varieties grown in standard rows. These stronger stems support heavier yields without breaking. The Amish can predict tomorrow's breeze patterns better than the evening news. During hot weather, these designs create cooling microclimates. Temperature readings show properly arranged Amish gardens stay 4 to 7 degrees cooler than conventional plantings during midday heat, reducing plant stress and water needs. But even the strongest plants can collapse under the weight of record-breaking harvests without an ingenious system that adapts and grows alongside them, increasing yields by up to 41% while solving one of gardening's most frustrating problems. Have you ever grown a tomato plant that collapsed under its own weight? The Amish solved this problem centuries ago with support systems unlike any you'll find in garden stores. Traditional trellising remains static while plants grow around it. Amish supports, by contrast, evolve alongside the plants they hold. The foundation begins with tension-based frameworks made from natural materials. Young plants start with minimal supports that gradually expand as stems thicken and fruit develops. The signature technique involves special knots that loosen as plants grow. These slip knots prevent the stem damage that occurs with conventional ties. Measurements of stem diameters show plants grown with Amish dynamic supports average 18% thicker stems than those with standard supports. Perfectly supported plants redirect energy that would otherwise go to stem strengthening. This means more nutrients flow to developing fruit instead. The results speak for themselves. Identical vegetable varieties grown with Amish support systems produce yields 41% higher by weight. Height adjustments happen throughout the growing season. As plants reach upward, support systems elevate in stages, gradually raising the plant's crown to receive optimal sunlight. This prevents the common problem of top-heavy plants that outgrow their supports. Their tomato supports are so elegant and functional that weekend gardeners drive for miles just to click a photo of what they call tomato cages. The craftsmanship involved bears witness to generations of refinement. Each support gets custom designed for specific plant varieties. Cucumber supports differ from bean trellises. Squash plants receive specialized cradle systems that keep developing fruit off damp soil. But the journey to giant vegetables begins long before plants need support, with a widely overlooked technique that gives Amish seedlings a 23-day head start and develops root systems 78% larger than conventional methods. Seeds contain everything needed to create a giant vegetable, but unlocking their full potential requires special techniques the Amish have perfected over generations. The traditional Amish awakening process starts weeks before planting time. Seeds aren't simply dropped into soil. They undergo a carefully choreographed preparation ritual. This approach gives plants a 23-day head start over conventional planting methods. Temperature manipulation forms the cornerstone of this technique. Seeds experience controlled temperature fluctuations that mimic natural spring conditions. First comes a cold period at 38 to 40 degrees, followed by gradual warming. These temperature shifts trigger specific hormonal changes within seeds that conventional planting misses entirely. Specialized soil blocks replace standard plant pots in Amish greenhouses. These handcrafted cubes contain perfect mixtures of compost, soil, and minerals tailored to specific vegetable types. The unique shape encourages roots to develop in all directions rather than circling as they do in round containers. The results are measurable. Root systems of awakened seedlings grow 78% larger than conventionally started seeds. Larger roots mean greater nutrient absorption and drought resistance later in the season. Their seed-starting methods give plants such a head start that other gardener seedlings seem to be growing in slow motion. Perhaps most fascinating is the warm water immersion technique used on larger seeds like beans and corn. Seeds soak in water heated to precisely 96 to 98 degrees, mimicking the body temperature of the farm animals that would naturally distribute these seeds. This triggers rapid germination that conventional planting can't match. But even perfectly started plants can fail to reach their maximum size without a final critical technique that most gardeners miss entirely. A precision approach that increases nutrient density incredibly and can double the size of your harvest with a simple daily observation. Too early loses flavor. Too late loses size. This simple Amish saying captures generations of wisdom about the critical importance of harvest timing in producing truly exceptional vegetables. The foundation of this approach rests on understanding sap flow cycles within plants. Vegetables aren't static. They undergo daily rhythms of nutrient movement influenced by temperature, humidity, and even moon phases. Harvesting during peak nutrient flow results in vegetables with 31% higher nutrient density compared to randomly harvested produce. Morning harvests between 4:30 and 6 a.m. yield the best results for most vegetables. At this time, plants have accumulated nutrients throughout the night without exposure to heat that triggers nutrient conversion. Root vegetables like carrots and potatoes prove the exception. They reach peak quality when harvested in late afternoon. Weather patterns drastically affect timing decisions. Harvests never occur during high humidity or immediately after rain, when vegetables contain excess water that dilutes flavor and reduces storage life. Rain-soaked soil also compacts more easily, potentially damaging future growing conditions. The Amish stem pinch test provides the ultimate harvesting guide. By gently squeezing stems at different times of day, experienced gardeners detect subtle changes in pressure that indicate perfect harvest moments. This simple physical test reveals more than any calendar date ever could. They're so punctual with harvesting, you could set your morning coffee by them and relax. Most importantly, proper harvest timing directly impacts future generations of plants. Seeds collected from properly timed harvests produce offspring with genetic potential for larger size, continuing the cycle of improvement year after year. These Amish techniques work together as a complete system, each practice enhancing the others. Their methods prove we don't need chemicals for exceptional harvests. Just patience, careful observation, and a deep respect for nature's own processes.